Alright, so you're going to want to start by taking the hubcap off. This is the hubcap. Mine are plastic, some are metal. They all look different, but basically you'll either be able to take it off with your hands like that, or there will be a little slot. There's the end of the lug tool, and you just slip it in and pry it off. After that, what you're going to want to do is loosen each of these lug nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Loosen each of them to just enough so that you can loosen it with your hand. So what you want to do that is you take your lug wrench, you stick it in, and you just push on the lug nut. That one came off pretty easily, but a lot of the times you have to use your full body weight to take it off, and it's okay to stand on the lug wrench and like push it down. Use as much weight as you need. What a lot of cars have is a special lug nut like this one that is locking, and that's so that someone can't just come up and steal your tire. And what you're going to need to take that off is this key. As you can see on this end, it'll slip right into the lug wrench. So what you do, you just put it on here, twist it until it goes in, put the lug wrench on, and give it the beans.
Alright, next I'm going to show you how to jack up the car. So the jack can be different on many different types of car. For us, this tool is already assembled. So what you're going to want to do is come over to, for this jack, this one's a very easy one to use. You're going to come over, my bad, and start twisting. And as you can see, it's going to start to grow. And what you're going to want to do is like make it grow into the certain spot that you want it to go so that it can stably lift the car up. So the tire should just barely come off the ground.
Now that the tire's been jacked up, it'll move freely. Now we want to loosen the lug nuts that we want to hand loosen the lug nuts that we loosened earlier. Now that all the lug nuts are off, the tire should come off pretty easily. Just lift and pull it off.
Next, we're going to put the spare tire back onto the car. So what you're going to have to do is kind of roll it over as close as you can. And then try and line it up as best as you can before you put it on with the nuts or the bolts, because it'll be easier. And then lift. And then you're gonna hand screw the lug nuts back on.
Now I'm gonna loosen the jack so that the tire sits back on the ground. Now you want to use the lug wrench to tighten these bad boys back in there. Now that the lug nuts are secure, your tire is safe to drive on. You should take it to a mechanic as soon as possible, and they will either maybe patch the broken tire or just sell you a whole new one. And they'll put it on and put your spare tire back where it should be.
Now, for jump starting a car, first what you have to do is find the battery. In most cars, the battery is in the engine of the car. In whack-ass German cars, it's in the under the seat, covered in hay. And in some cars, it can be in the trunk of the car.
It's very important to locate the positive and negative terminals of the battery because that determines where you put each jumper cable. On my truck, it's not very obvious. As you can see right here, there's a tiny negative, and over there an even harder to see positive. But on most vehicles, there will be caps over the batteries in black and red that tell you which is which. Black will always be negative and red will always be positive. To jumpstart the cars, you use the cables. Like with the batteries, red will always be positive and black will always be negative. It's important that you don't ever touch these two, or that you touch the nodes on the batteries. Also, don't mix up the colors because that'll break both cars. So, what you want to do is attach first the red wire, the positive wire, to the positive terminal on the dead battery. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit as long as some of the metal is touching. Then, you attach the positive terminal, the red wire, to the positive terminal of the live battery. Then you attach the black negative wire to the live battery. And then you attach the negative wire to the dead battery. Then you start the live car. Wait a couple minutes for the dead battery to charge. Then try and start your car. It worked.